Welcome, chosen ones. Have you ever walked into a room, said absolutely nothing, and yet felt the energy shift around you? It's not your imagination. Your presence speaks louder than words. You don't need to shout or draw attention to yourself, because your quiet confidence has a way of unsettling those around you. Why? Because you represent something they don't understand. Power that isn't loud, resilience that doesn't crumble, and purpose that can't be swayed. You're not just another face in the crowd, you're a force, a living example of what it means to be chosen, and that terrifies those who fear what they cannot control. Now let me ask you to do something special. If you've ever felt that unshakable energy within yourself, comment 999 below. Let this be your declaration that you are not just existing, you're thriving. And to those who have supported this channel through super thanks, thank you from the depths of my heart. Your encouragement fuels this mission to uplift and inspire every chosen soul who stumbles across this message. But let's face it, they don't just fear you, they want to scare you. They want to make you second-guess your strength, your identity, and your divine purpose. Why? Because deep down, they're the ones trembling. They know they can't match your energy, and it shakes them to their core. Their efforts to intimidate you are often laughable, like someone trying to scare a storm with a whisper. What is it about you that leaves them feeling so powerless? And why do they try so hard to project their fears onto you? Get ready, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see their actions and yourself. This is going to be raw, powerful, and yes, even a bit humorous. Let's dive into the truth about why they fear you, and why their attempts to scare you will never succeed. God's chosen ones, they want to scare you because you are terrifying. When you are one of God's chosen, your mere existence becomes a powerful disruption to the systems of control that others have carefully constructed around their lives. For years, or perhaps even lifetimes, they have worked tirelessly to create a world where they feel secure, influential, and in charge of their surroundings. They build systems of thought, belief, and behavior that keep them in control. But then, you come along. You don't just exist within the boundaries they've set, you redefine them. You challenge their norms, rewrite their rules, or simply walk away as if their rules were irrelevant. This kind of behavior unsettles them deeply. It's as though they've spent decades constructing a fortress only for it to crumble in front of their eyes, without a single blow being struck. The mere fact that you exist and refuse to conform shakes the very foundation of what they thought was solid. Why does your presence affect them so strongly? Because society is built on the expectation of conformity. It's a place where everyone is supposed to follow an unspoken set of rules. Rules about what is acceptable, what is expected, and what is normal. When you walk into this world and refuse to play by these rules, it challenges their very sense of order. You thrive outside their expectations, and it terrifies them because it forces them to confront the idea that their entire reality is fragile. What happens when someone steps outside the box and still succeeds? What does it say about the systems of control that govern the lives of so many? This unsettling truth is that when you refuse to conform and thrive regardless, you prove something they can't accept. Power doesn't come from control. It comes from authenticity, freedom, and alignment with a deeper spiritual truth. This truth is what they fear the most because it exposes their false sense of security. In the Bible, we see the example of Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel's refusal to worship the king's statue, despite knowing the consequences, wasn't just an act of disobedience. It was a defiance of the illusion of absolute power. His faith His refusal to bow down to false authority ultimately led to his deliverance, showing that true power comes not from submission to worldly systems, but from obedience to God's will. In their eyes, you are dangerous not because of what you do, but because of what you represent. You are a living testament to the idea that their rules can be broken and their power can be undermined. The truth is, their control isn't as unshakable as they thought, and this is where they struggle. They can't handle the fact that your freedom is proof that they've been chasing the wrong thing all along. They've spent so much time building false power, but when faced with someone who is free from those constraints, they realize that everything they've worked for is meaningless. The real terror for them, however, isn't just that you don't fear them. It's that they can't stop you. They might try to intimidate you, isolate you, or convince you to return to their way of thinking, but it won't work. The collapse of their illusions isn't coming because of anything you've done. It's happening simply because you exist. Your refusal to be controlled, your steadfastness in the face of opposition, shines a light on the cracks in their walls. This is what they fear the most, not just losing control over you, but being forced to reckon with the truth about themselves. How do they reconcile their need for control with the undeniable power of your authenticity? Their attempts to scare you or stop you are rooted in their fear of self-examination. They fear that in witnessing your freedom, they may be forced to see the limits of their own control, to question the systems that have defined their lives. But you stand as a living testimony to a greater truth, one that transcends any earthly system of power or control. And no matter how hard they try, they can never take away the power that comes from standing in that truth. Can you feel the weight of this truth in your own life? Have you ever seen your own freedom challenge the systems around you? God has already equipped you with the strength to stand firm, just like Daniel. The question is, will you continue to walk in that power, knowing it terrifies those who seek to control? Your presence alone speaks volumes, louder than any words could ever convey. There's something about your energy that cuts through the noise and makes people feel exposed without you even saying a thing. You don't need to call attention to their flaws or confront their lies. You simply exist, and that's enough to stir something deep within them. People who are living in denial or hiding behind facades can't escape the weight of your authenticity. It's as if the truth radiates from you in a way that no one can ignore, especially those who have built their lives on illusions. Think about the times when you've walked into a room and felt the atmosphere shift. You didn't say anything, didn't make a sound, but somehow everything around you felt charged with a quiet intensity. It's not because you're trying to intimidate anyone, but because your presence is a mirror that reflects what they're unwilling to face. Your authenticity contrasts with their false appearances, and that contrast is what makes them uncomfortable. Have you ever wondered why the truth can feel so heavy for some? Why do people run from it, even though it's meant to set them free? When you're around, you force others to confront the things they'd rather keep hidden, and they don't know how to deal with it. You see past their bravado and their carefully crafted masks, and that level of insight is not something many can handle. It's not something that can be ignored. You see through the charm and the facades, and it's almost like you're peeling back the layers of who they really are. The Bible talks about how God sees us as we truly are, and how His truth can bring light into the darkest corners. In 1 Samuel 16:7, God reminds us that man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. This is the kind of truth that you carry, the kind that exposes what's hidden and forces people to face themselves. The most unsettling part is that you don't even have to try. It's not about actively trying to make people feel uncomfortable. It's simply that your energy, your truth, is so undeniable that it becomes impossible for them to keep up their pretenses. You've probably experienced this, standing in a room, minding your own business, and yet feeling the weight of people's eyes on you. as if they're afraid you might uncover something they're not ready to face. Why does the truth make people so uneasy? Why does authenticity feel so intimidating to those who have spent their lives building a false reality? The irony is that while they try to make you feel small, what they're really doing is projecting their own fears and insecurities onto you. They want to take the spotlight off their hidden flaws by making you feel exposed, vulnerable, and uncertain. But you don't flinch. You don't take the bait. Your calm, your quiet strength, and your ability to remain unfazed only highlights their desperation. Your refusal to engage in their games is the loudest truth they've ever encountered, and it terrifies them because it forces them to look at themselves in a way they've never had to before. They want to scare you into retreating, but the truth is, they're the ones who are afraid of the clarity you bring. Have you ever experienced this type of reaction from others, where your peace unsettles them? It's as if your very presence reminds them of what they're trying so hard to avoid. It's the kind of spiritual confrontation that happens when God's light shines in the darkness. And even if you're not actively trying to expose anyone, the light of your truth forces them to confront their own shadows. It's not your fault that your authenticity shines so brightly. It's a gift that has the power to reveal what's hidden and make the dishonest uncomfortable. Like the Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians 2:16, when he speaks of the message of Christ as the fragrance of life to those who are being saved, but the fragrance of death to those who are perishing. You carry that fragrance, the fragrance of truth, and it's either a source of life or discomfort for those who encounter it. So, the next time you feel like people are trying to make you doubt yourself, remember, they're not scared of you. They're terrified of what your truth forces them to face. You are not the one who should be afraid. The real fear lies in the hearts of those who try to disguise themselves, because your clarity strips them of their illusions. Your presence is an invitation for them to step into the light, but not everyone is ready to embrace it. Are you ready to continue shining, even when it makes others uneasy? You've never been one to follow the rules they've set, and that alone drives them mad. The rules they've carefully crafted and built their entire lives around dictate success, relationships, behavior, and even the way they expect you to think. Yet, you refuse to follow them, and that refusal makes you a threat to everything they hold dear. They've structured their existence on the belief that if you follow these rules, you will succeed. Yet, you live in defiance of them and still thrive. Your very existence challenges the principles they've relied on, and this drives them to confusion and frustration. It's as though you are flipping the script on everything they thought was true, and they can't seem to understand how or why it's happening. What unsettles them the most is that you don't need their approval. You don't conform to their standards, and yet you flourish. This is a paradox that's impossible for them to process. For years, they have believed that following the prescribed path was the only way to gain acceptance, status, and success. But there you are, thriving on your own terms, proving that their rigid rules aren't the only road to fulfillment or achievement. Have you ever wondered why freedom can seem so threatening to others? Why is it that the very idea of living authentically without bending to societal pressure can make people uneasy? Your ability to thrive without conforming is a crack in the foundation of everything they've constructed, and it's something they can't stop staring at, trying to understand. It's not just your actions that disturb them, it's what you represent. You are living proof that authenticity and freedom are more powerful than conformity and control. Without even trying, you expose the limitations of their thinking. You take risks that they would never dare to take, walking away from things they cling to out of fear, and thriving in ways that they find incomprehensible. Your very existence challenges the systems they've invested in for so long. You expose the lies that have kept them bound to a path of limitation and fear, showing them that there's another way, a path of freedom that they are too scared to follow. Do you ever wonder what it would be like to truly live without restrictions, to not be chained to the rules that others force upon you? This defiance doesn't just threaten their beliefs, it threatens their entire identity. They've placed all their worth into a worldview that tells them their way is the only way, and you shatter that belief simply by living differently. This isn't just an ideological threat, it's personal. Their sense of self is built around the notion that the system they've chosen is unbreakable, and you prove them wrong just by existing. That's why they react with fear or even hostility. They don't want to admit that their rules and beliefs aren't as infallible as they once thought. Instead of looking inward and questioning the validity of their system, they focus on you, hoping to break you, hoping that if they can just make you conform, they can maintain their illusion of control. They might try to scare you, ridicule you, or force you into their limited view of the world, but it won't work. You've already broken free from their expectations, and that freedom is something they'll never understand. It's like they're trapped in a cage of their own making, too afraid to leave it, and here you are, soaring in the open air. Their fear isn't about you, it's about what you represent, the possibility of breaking free from the chains that bind them. In 2 Corinthians 3:17, the Bible reminds us, "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom." You embody that freedom, and it is something they will never comprehend as long as they are too afraid to claim it for themselves. They can't quite grasp how you're able to live without their rules, but deep down, they know you've found something they haven't. They're not just afraid of what you do, but of what you symbolize, the possibility of a life unbound by their rules. And that's a power they'll never have as long as they remain tethered to their own self-imposed limitations. Have you ever considered how much power there is in simply living your truth? How much strength it takes to walk away from the expectations others try to place on you, and yet still stand tall, thriving on your own terms? That's the kind of power they're too afraid to claim. People who rely on manipulation to maintain power are experts at control. They've learned how to use fear, guilt, and subtle persuasion to bend others to their will, shaping the world around them with these tactics. For them, manipulation isn't just a tool, it's their very way of life. Their identity is tied to their ability to dominate, to make others dance to their tune. But when they encounter someone who refuses to be swayed, someone who stands firm and unshaken, everything they've worked for starts to unravel. Think about it. How do you feel when someone tries to manipulate you? How do you react when someone tries to control your thoughts and actions? Do you feel powerless, or do you resist? Now, imagine a situation where someone tries to use their usual tactics on you, but it just doesn't work. This is exactly the fear that arises in the hearts of those who rely on manipulation. When they encounter you, someone who refuses to fall prey to their schemes, their entire foundation starts to crumble. They can no longer manipulate you because your strength and resilience stand as a barrier to their control. Your response, or lack thereof, is what terrifies them. They've spent years perfecting their techniques. They've honed the art of triggering emotional responses, using shame and guilt to break down the resistance of others. But when they try those same tactics on you, they are met with an unexpected calmness. You don't react the way they expect, and that's what leaves them powerless. You don't give in to their pressure. You don't respond to their emotional games. Your ability to remain grounded and self-assured in the face of their manipulation unsettles them. Why is this so frightening to them? They can't understand why you are different. What makes you immune to their influence? They've seen their tactics work on countless others, so why doesn't it work on you? What is it about you that disrupts their control? It's almost like you're speaking a different language, one they don't comprehend. You don't respond to guilt trips, their disapproval doesn't shake you, and their intimidation tactics don't touch your core. You stand firm in your own truth, and that immunity is a kind of power they can't control, no matter how hard they try. What they fear the most is the truth that their manipulation hides. Their power is an illusion. It only works on those who allow it. When they meet you, they're confronted with the uncomfortable reality that their ability to control is limited to the weak or those who are willing to be controlled. You are a living testament to the fact that true strength doesn't come from coercion or fear. It comes from within. You represent something they can never possess, true self-sovereignty. This is a power they can never manipulate, a freedom they can never take away from you, and that is what scares them the most. In the Bible, we see stories of individuals who were similarly unshaken by external forces. Take the example of Daniel in the lion's den. Despite the king's decree and the pressure to conform, Daniel stood firm in his faith, refusing to be manipulated by fear or the threat of death. His unwavering faith became a source of true power, one that not even the might of an empire could break. Daniel's resistance was a direct challenge to the king's authority, and it shook the very foundations of the kingdom. Just like Daniel, your strength lies not in conforming to the pressures of this world, but in standing firm in your own truth and faith. Does this story resonate with you? How often do we find ourselves in situations where our faith and integrity are tested? How do we respond when faced with intimidation and manipulation? When you step into their lives, your very presence becomes an unwelcome mirror, forcing them to confront truths they've tried to bury for years. You don't need to speak a word. Your existence alone reflects their deepest insecurities, their self-deceptions, and the dreams they've abandoned out of fear. This reflection is one they can neither control nor escape. They loathe it because you compel them to face a reality they've carefully avoided. It's not merely your confidence or independence that unsettles them. It's your authenticity. You live unapologetically in alignment with your true self, and that shines a glaring light on the falsehoods they've built their lives around. Every choice you make rooted in freedom instead of fear reminds them of the chains they willingly wear. Every time you stand firm in your convictions, it underscores the compromises they've made with their own values. This stark contrast is unbearable for those who have built their identity on denial and pretense. Have you ever wondered why people react so strongly to authenticity? Could it be that it reminds them of the cost of their own avoidance? In the Bible, Jesus often held up a mirror to those around him, exposing their true nature. In John 8:7, when confronted with the woman caught in adultery, he simply said, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." His words forced the accusers to confront their own hypocrisy and sinfulness. In much the same way, your presence challenges those around you to see their flaws, and it makes them deeply uncomfortable. Rather than face the discomfort of self-reflection, they lash out at you. They criticize, gossip, and try to intimidate you, not because of anything you've done wrong, but because of what you make them feel about themselves. Their anger and hostility are misdirected attempts to destroy the mirror you hold up to their lives. Have you noticed how the more you stand in your truth, the more their insecurities seem to surface? Why is it that your courage to be real feels so threatening to them? The truth is, you unsettle them because you embody everything they've lost touch with: honesty, integrity, and the courage to live without a mask. Your authenticity shines so brightly that it exposes their shadows, and rather than deal with their inner turmoil, they aim to silence you. Yet their efforts to diminish you are in vain. The harder they try to shatter the reflection, the clearer it becomes. Just as darkness cannot extinguish light, their attempts to diminish your truth only make it more evident. Remember the story of Joseph in Genesis 37. His brothers hated him, not because he did anything wrong, but because his dreams and his confidence reminded them of their own limitations. They tried to silence him by selling him into slavery, but God's purpose for Joseph only grew stronger. In the same way, the more they attempt to bring you down, the more your light will shine. What if their resistance to you is a sign of how powerfully your authenticity resonates? Ultimately, their battle isn't with you, it's with themselves. Until they choose to confront the person staring back at them in the mirror, they'll remain trapped in a cycle of denial and resentment. Your presence is not a curse, but a blessing, offering them a chance to break free. Will they ever have the courage to face themselves, or will they continue to run from the truth you embody? That choice is theirs alone, but your role is clear. To keep shining, no matter how much they may try to dim your light. When conflict arises, many people instinctively cling tighter, striving to salvage relationships or seek validation. They argue, plead, or attempt to fix what feels broken, hoping to restore balance. But you're different. When a situation no longer serves your growth or aligns with your values, you simply walk away. Without dramatic gestures or endless explanations, you choose to make a clean break. This quiet yet resolute departure strikes fear into the hearts of those who encounter it. Your ability to walk away stems not from coldness or indifference, but from a profound sense of self-respect. You know your worth and refuse to let anyone diminish it, even if it means severing ties. This is a power that many cannot comprehend, particularly those who are accustomed to being chased or needed. For them, the act of walking away shatters their deeply held belief that others will always fight to keep them close. Have you ever noticed how some people rely on others to affirm their sense of importance? Why do they struggle so much when that affirmation is withdrawn? The Bible provides a striking example of walking away with purpose and clarity. In Luke 9-5, Jesus instructs his disciples, "If people do not welcome you, leave their town and shake the dust off your feet as a testimony against them." This profound act of walking away signifies strength and faith, a refusal to waste time or energy on those who do not align with your mission or values. Similarly, your ability to walk away sends a powerful message. You value your peace and integrity above all else. What terrifies people most about your departure is not just the loss of your presence, but the collapse of their illusion of control. They believed that their approval, attention, or presence held power over you. Yet, when you walk away, it becomes evident that their control was an illusion, one entirely dependent on your willingness to play along. Your departure strips them of this imagined power and forces them to confront the truth. They were never as essential as they thought. Walking away isn't merely an action, it's a declaration of independence. It says, "I am whole on my own. I will not sacrifice my self-worth for anyone's games or manipulations." For people who thrive on control, this kind of independence is incomprehensible and deeply unsettling. It exposes their own fears of irrelevance and their dependence on external validation. Have you ever wondered why some people react so intensely when their perceived control over others is challenged? Could it be that they are terrified of facing their own inadequacies? Your strength mirrors the resolve of individuals like Joseph in Genesis 39. When faced with Potiphar's wife's advances, Joseph didn't argue or plead. He simply left the situation, prioritizing his integrity over temporary comfort. His decision, though painful in the short term, reflected his unwavering commitment to his values. Like Joseph, your ability to walk away demonstrates a level of clarity and purpose that leaves others unsettled. For those who thrive on manipulation or control, your actions are more than unsettling. They are terrifying. You refuse to be bound by their expectations, and your departure forces them to confront their own irrelevance in your world. It highlights a painful truth they cannot escape. Their influence over you was never real. In the end, your ability to walk away is not just a defense mechanism. It is a reflection of your inner strength and self-worth. It challenges others to reevaluate their assumptions and forces them to reckon with their insecurities. And while this may leave them shaken, it also serves as a reminder of the power of living authentically and courageously. What might happen if more people learn to walk away from what no longer serves them? Could it inspire a world where authenticity and self-respect take precedence over superficial validation? There is something about you that causes people to pause, an indescribable essence that transcends mere confidence or charisma. It's deeper, almost otherworldly, a weighty presence that feels ancient and enduring, as though you carry an unseen wisdom etched into your very being. This intangible energy unsettles people because it defies explanation. Humans often fear what they cannot categorize, and you exist outside the neat boxes they rely on to make sense of the world. Your energy isn't loud, but it is undeniably powerful. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere subtly but unmistakably shifts. Without speaking a word, people feel the depth of your experiences, the quiet strength of your convictions, and the peace that comes from being deeply rooted in your authentic self. This mystery surrounding you challenges their understanding. They cannot pinpoint where this presence comes from, and that inability to label or define you unnerves them. Most people rely on familiar patterns to decode others, stereotypes, behaviors, or predictable traits. But with you, none of these apply. Have you ever noticed how some people react uneasily to what they cannot explain? Why is it that we are so unsettled by the unknown? In the Bible, we see similar reactions to Jesus' presence. In Mark 1:22, it is written, "The people were amazed at his teaching because he taught them as one who had authority, not as the teachers of the law." Jesus exuded an unshakable authority that went beyond titles or earthly roles, and it left people in awe and sometimes discomfort. Like him, your presence carries an authenticity and depth that transcends societal norms, making it impossible for others to put you into a predefined category. This inability to define you often leads people to respond defensively. They may try to dismiss you, diminish your impact, or explain you away with superficial assumptions. But none of their tactics work, because you don't conform to their expectations. You don't react as they anticipate, nor do you fit neatly into the roles they've assigned. Instead, you remain an enigma, and this forces them to confront the limits of their understanding. For many, that confrontation is terrifying because it highlights their own shallow perceptions. Your presence doesn't just confuse them, it exposes their own lack of depth. While they focus on maintaining appearances, impressing others, or fitting in, you stand firmly rooted in who you are. You don't seek validation or feel the need to prove anything, and this unshakable self-assurance is rare. It's a living reminder of what they've buried or neglected within themselves, dreams left unrealized, truths ignored, or fears left unchallenged. Could it be that your mystery serves as a mirror, reflecting their unfulfilled potential and inviting them to step beyond the confines of their own fear? Consider Moses in Exodus 34:29-30, when he descended from Mount Sinai with his face radiant after speaking with God. His presence was so transformed that the Israelites were afraid to approach him. This radiant transformation was not something they could understand, and it revealed the distance between them and the divine encounter Moses had experienced. In the same way, your presence serves as a reminder of something higher, an authenticity and courage to live beyond societal confines. Your mystery isn't just an enigma to them, it's a challenge. It silently asks them whether they're willing to dig deeper within themselves, to question the boundaries they've accepted, and to embrace a more authentic way of being. But not everyone is ready for that challenge. Some will admire you from afar, inspired but unsure how to move forward. Others may respond with hostility or defensiveness, desperate to keep their carefully constructed image intact. Why do you think authenticity is so rare in a world so focused on appearances? And how might the lives of others change if they embraced even a fraction of the depth they see in you? Ultimately, your presence is not just intimidating, it's transformative. For those willing to look beyond their fear, it offers a glimpse of what is possible, a life lived with unshakable truth, depth, and courage. And while some may resist, others will be inspired to seek the same for themselves, drawn not by your words, but by the undeniable power of your example. For many, isolation feels like a punishment, stirring fears of being forgotten, rejected, or left without external validation. But for you, isolation is something entirely different. It's a sanctuary. Where others see emptiness, you find an opportunity to grow, recharge, and realign. Solitude isn't a state of loneliness for you. It's a space where transformation begins. This is why attempts to isolate you, whether intentional or incidental, always backfire. The very tactic designed to weaken you becomes the fuel that strengthens you. In your solitude, you shed the noise of the world, the superficial dramas, the constant demands, and the pressure to conform. In the stillness, you reconnect with your purpose, refine your creativity, and build resilience. Like Jesus, retreating to the wilderness to pray and prepare for his mission, Luke 5:16, you use isolation to fortify yourself. This process doesn't leave you broken or desperate, it leaves you stronger. When others expect you to return from isolation seeking validation or reassurance, you reappear sharper, more assured, and more powerful than ever. Have you ever considered why some people fear solitude while others use it as a tool for growth? Could it be that the way we experience isolation reflects how deeply we know ourselves? The Bible is filled with examples of people who thrived in isolation. Consider David, who spent years in the wilderness before becoming king, using that time to grow closer to God and develop the strength he would later need to lead a nation. 1 Samuel 22, 1-2. What might have seemed like abandonment was, in fact, preparation. Similarly, when others attempt to isolate you, they inadvertently give you the very conditions you need to grow and flourish. This ability to thrive in solitude is deeply unsettling for those who rely on external connections for their sense of worth. Their approval, attention, or control over others serves as the foundation of their power. But you've discovered a secret that terrifies them. True strength comes from within. You don't depend on their validation or their presence to feel whole, and this flips the script. Have you ever noticed how people who seek to control others struggle to understand those who don't need them? Why does independence provoke such strong reactions in those who depend on dependency? Your resilience in isolation forces them to confront their own vulnerabilities. It reveals their reliance on social structures and relationships for validation, and how fragile their sense of control truly is. The very thing they thought would destroy you, cutting you off from others, only highlights their own insecurities. What unnerves them most is that your power comes from a place they cannot reach, your inner self. It is a strength rooted not in others' approval, but in your unwavering sense of who you are. Consider how Joseph, sold into slavery and later imprisoned, thrived despite the isolation and betrayal he faced. Genesis 39. Instead of breaking, he grew in wisdom, favor, and strength, eventually rising to a position of influence that no one could have foreseen. His story is a testament to how isolation, when approached with the right mindset, becomes a crucible for greatness. Your ability to thrive in isolation exposes a stark truth. Their attempts to control or diminish you will never work because your strength doesn't rely on anything external. Instead, it comes from your connection to something greater, your purpose, your authenticity, and your creator. This terrifies those who depend on controlling others to maintain their own sense of power. How can they influence someone who finds freedom and strength in solitude? Remember, your time alone isn't a weakness, but a superpower. It transforms you, aligns you with your higher purpose, and reminds you of the unshakable foundation within. While others depend on the noise of the world to feel alive, you flourish in the quiet. And that, perhaps more than anything, is what makes you unstoppable. What could the world look like if more people embraced the strength found in solitude? How much untapped potential lies waiting for those brave enough to face themselves in the stillness? When they scheme against you, they do so with confidence, convinced their plans will succeed. They imagine their traps will ensnare you, their lies will tarnish your reputation, and their efforts to harm you will achieve their desired result. Yet, without fail, their schemes collapse, often with consequences they never anticipated. The traps they set spring shut on them instead, and the lies they spread boomerang back, exposing their own flaws. Their carefully crafted plots unravel before their eyes, leaving them bewildered, frustrated, and increasingly terrified. What truly frightens them isn't just the failure of their plans, it's the mystery of why they always fail. They cannot comprehend the invisible shield that seems to protect you, a force that not only deflects their negativity, but turns their efforts into lessons for themselves. To them, you appear untouchable, shielded by something beyond their understanding. No matter how meticulously they plan, their schemes always backfire, and they are left powerless and exposed. Have you ever wondered why people who operate with malice are so often undone by their own actions? Could it be that the universe, or perhaps God himself, intervenes on behalf of those who walk in righteousness? The Bible offers countless examples of such divine protection. Consider the story of Haman in the book of Esther. Haman built a gallows intending to execute Mordecai, but through a series of events orchestrated by God, Haman was hanged on the very gallows he prepared. Esther 7-10. This dramatic reversal is a powerful reminder that those who plot harm against the innocent often fall victim to their own devices. Like Mordecai, you move through life with integrity, and this alignment with higher principles acts as a shield against malicious intent. It's not coincidence or luck that protect you. It's the energy you carry. Your authenticity, integrity, and unwavering commitment to your purpose create a natural barrier that their negativity cannot penetrate. While they operate from a place of fear, envy, and malice, you remain centered in clarity and truth. This stark contrast between your light and their darkness creates a dynamic where their schemes cannot thrive. Have you noticed how authenticity naturally repels manipulation? Why do you think light so effortlessly exposes and nullifies darkness? What unsettles them even more is the realization that you don't retaliate. You don't stoop to their level, fight dirty, or respond with malice of your own, and yet they still lose. Your refusal to engage in their negativity leaves them facing the collapse of their plans without anyone else to blame but themselves. This non-retaliatory stance is deeply unsettling to those who thrive on conflict and control. It forces them to confront the fragility of their own power. Why is it that true strength is often demonstrated not by action, but by restraint? Their fear of you grows over time, not because of anything you actively do, but because of what you don't do. Your calm, unwavering presence highlights the futility of their efforts and the weakness of their motives. It reminds them of a truth they are desperate to avoid. Their darkness cannot overcome your light. As John 1:5 states, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." This truth echoes through every interaction, reinforcing the idea that their malice will always crumble in the face of your authenticity. Their schemes are doomed to fail because their intentions come from a place of weakness, while your strength is rooted in truth. Their plans are built on envy and fear, while your path is guided by clarity and purpose. Over time, they come to fear you, not because of the battles they fought with you, but because of the battles they lost within themselves. What might the world look like if more people embraced the power of integrity over manipulation? How much of their fear is rooted in the realization that their own darkness will never prevail against the light you carry? These questions linger, a testament to the undeniable power of living in alignment with truth. Manipulators are masters of deception, weaving intricate webs of lies and half-truths to maintain control and achieve their goals. For them, false personas are as natural as breathing, a carefully crafted facade designed to fool and manipulate those around them. Most people fall victim to their illusions, unable to see the strings they pull in the shadows. But not you. From the moment you encounter them, their masks crumble under your gaze. You see through their pretense as if it were transparent, and their carefully orchestrated game fails before it even begins. Your ability to discern their motives isn't guesswork. It's an innate understanding born from years of self-awareness, observation, and deep reflection on human behavior. This clarity is more than intuition. It's a honed skill, a combination of sharp instincts and a profound awareness of what drives people. Manipulators thrive on secrecy and the ability to operate undetected, but your presence disrupts their entire strategy. Have you ever wondered why seeing through deception is so unsettling for those who live by it? Could it be that truth, when revealed, is more powerful than even the most convincing lie? The Bible illustrates this dynamic in the story of Ananias and Sapphira, Acts 5:1-11. They attempted to deceive the apostles by withholding part of their offering while pretending to give everything. However, Peter, filled with the Holy Spirit, saw through their lie instantly. Their deception was exposed, and they faced the consequences of their dishonesty. Like Peter, your ability to see the truth makes it impossible for manipulators to hide. Their lies collapse under the weight of their own falsehoods when confronted by someone who perceives their true intentions. What terrifies them most is that you don't need to confront them to dismantle their schemes. You don't call them out, argue, or engage in their games. Your simple existence, rooted in authenticity and clarity, renders their deception powerless. Manipulators rely on control, and when they realize their usual tricks don't work on you, it forces them to confront their own fragility. Why is it that the mere presence of truth is enough to unravel even the most elaborate lies? What does this reveal about the nature of manipulation itself? Your ability to see through them doesn't just expose their deceit, it goes deeper, uncovering the truths they've spent their lives trying to bury. You don't just see the facade, they know you see the wounds, fears, and insecurities driving their behavior. This level of insight strips away their armor, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. For someone who depends on their ability to control others, being seen so clearly is more than unsettling. It's terrifying. Manipulators thrive in environments where they can twist perceptions and control the narrative, but your presence disrupts their carefully built reality. Consider Jesus' encounters with the Pharisees, who often tried to trap him with clever words and hidden agendas. Time and again, he exposed their hypocrisy with simple, piercing truths. In Matthew 23:27, he declares, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You're like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of the bones of the dead and everything unclean. His ability to see beyond their outward appearances revealed their true nature and left them powerless to control the narrative. What unsettles manipulators even more is your refusal to engage in their games. You don't stoop to their level or allow yourself to be drawn into their drama. Instead, you hold firm, unshaken by their attempts to manipulate or deceive. Your strength lies in your ability to remain authentic, to walk in truth without needing to prove anything. How do you think manipulators feel when their best efforts fail to sway you? Could their fear stem from the realization that their power only exists where there is darkness, and your light exposes their lies? Their schemes unravel not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Your clarity and authenticity act as a mirror, reflecting the truth they fear most. Their power is an illusion, and their control over others is as fragile as the lies it's built upon. By simply existing in your truth, you reveal theirs, forcing them to confront the very things they've tried so hard to hide. And that, more than anything, is why they fear you. You carry a quiet strength that feels untouchable, a confidence that isn't tied to achievement, status, or the fleeting approval of others. This isn't the type of confidence born from pride or ego, but one deeply rooted in spiritual alignment and self-awareness. It radiates naturally, requiring no validation or performance to exist. You don't need to shout your worth or fight to prove your place in the world. You simply stand firm in who you are. This unshakable calm becomes a powerful force, one that others can't help but notice. To those around you, this confidence feels almost superhuman. In moments of chaos or attack, while others might crumble or react impulsively, you remain composed. It's not that you don't experience emotions or challenges, it's that you draw strength from a deeper well, one beyond the grasp of external circumstances. This composure confounds those who observe you. They wonder where your resilience comes from, because it isn't built on the same foundations as theirs. Have you noticed how people often try to provoke or unsettle you, as though testing the limits of your calm? Could it be that they are searching for the source of the strength they don't understand? Your confidence mirrors the peace described in Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. This peace, rooted in trust and alignment with God, creates a stability that cannot be shaken by external forces. Like the house built on the rock in Matthew 7:24-25, your foundation is unmovable, weathering storms without faltering. What unsettles others most is that your confidence doesn't stem from manipulation, control, or a need for validation. It's not about boasting or seeking attention. It's a quiet assurance that flows from knowing your purpose and walking in step with it. People can't touch this kind of confidence because they can't replicate it. While they rely on external factors to bolster their self-worth, your strength comes from within, rooted in an unshakable connection to your true self and your Creator. This unflinching composure challenges their understanding of what's possible. They may attempt to provoke you, knock you off balance, or unravel your calm, but their efforts inevitably fail. Your ability to remain steady under pressure highlights their own vulnerabilities, forcing them to confront the fragility of their confidence, which often relies on external validation. Have you ever wondered why people are so unnerved by those who remain composed in situations that would shake others? Could it be that your resilience reminds them of their own unresolved insecurities? Your presence echoes the strength of figures like Daniel in the lion's den, Daniel 6. Despite being surrounded by danger, Daniel's faith and trust in God allowed him to remain calm and unharmed. His unwavering confidence in the face of peril wasn't loud or boastful. It was rooted in his spiritual connection, a source of strength that silenced even the fiercest threats. The mysterious nature of your confidence is what makes it so intimidating. It isn't something that can be easily explained, copied, or torn down. You don't need to flaunt it or draw attention to it because it speaks for itself. And in doing so, it challenges others to question their own foundations. Why do they feel the need to shout or prove themselves when your calm assurance commands attention without effort? Your confidence isn't just a personal strength, it's a reflection of your alignment with something greater. It's a testimony to what's possible when you live authentically and walk in your purpose. For those willing to learn, it can be inspiring. But for those who rely on control, manipulation, or external validation, it's deeply unsettling. It reminds them of their own fragility, and it's a challenge they may not be ready to face. What could the world look like if more people embraced the kind of unshakable peace and confidence that you embody? Could it inspire others to seek strength from within, rather than from the fleeting approval of the outside world? While many cling to the safety of their comfort zones, you chart a path of boldness that others can't ignore. Your actions defy hesitation and fear, rooted in an unshakable faith in your purpose. You don't move tentatively, second-guessing every step. Instead, you trust deeply that the road you choose will lead to where you're meant to be. This fearless approach to life isn't just inspiring, it's unsettling for those still trapped by their own doubts. Your willingness to take risks exposes a painful truth for those around you. Comfort is often their greatest limitation. They chase approval, validation, and the avoidance of failure as though these are the ultimate measures of success. But you've learned a different lesson, that growth demands stepping into the unknown. Like Abraham, who obeyed God's call to leave everything familiar and set out for a promised land he had never seen. Genesis 12:1-4. You trust the process, knowing that divine guidance will lead you forward. This contrast between you and others is stark. While they hesitate, shackled by the fear of the unknown, you press forward with conviction. Your actions and the success you manifest don't just reflect skill, they testify to the faith you carry. This faith in yourself and in the alignment of the universe or divine purpose terrifies those who live in fear. They're forced to confront a reality they'd rather avoid. Their paralysis stems from a refusal to face the risks necessary for growth. Have you noticed how some people react defensively to your boldness? Could it be that your courage reflects the life they wish they could live? Your ability to step beyond fear doesn't just unsettle them, it makes them question their own choices. Why do they cling so tightly to their comfort zones when they see what's possible for those who step beyond them? The Bible is full of stories of individuals who made fearless moves, trusting in God's plan despite the risks. Consider David as he faced Goliath, 1 Samuel 17. Where others saw a giant to be feared, David saw an opportunity to trust God and act boldly. His courage not only led to victory, but also revealed the hesitation and fear in the hearts of those who watched from the sidelines. Like David, your fearless decisions inspire some, but terrify others, forcing them to reckon with their own inaction. What unsettles them most isn't just your risk-taking, it's the reflection it casts on their own lives. Your boldness highlights their hesitations and makes them question the excuses they've told themselves for staying still. They see in you the person they might have been if they'd only had the courage to move. It's not your success that terrifies them, but the reminder of what they've let fear steal from them. Have you ever wondered how much potential remains buried in those too afraid to take the first step? How different would their lives look if they embraced the kind of faith and courage you embody? Your fearless moves don't just challenge others, they inspire transformation. For those willing to reflect and grow, Your boldness serves as a blueprint for what's possible when fear no longer dictates one's actions. But for those still trapped in their self-imposed limitations, it's a painful reminder of what they lack. And that reflection, it's terrifying, because it forces them to confront the truth. The only thing standing between them and the life they want is their fear of stepping into the unknown. Your courage isn't about defiance or recklessness, it's about trust. Trust in your abilities, trust in your purpose, and trust in the guidance that lights your path. This kind of faith isn't common, and it's why your life stands as a testament to what happens when you live fully and authentically. For those who are watching, the question is simple. Will they let your boldness inspire them to act, or will they remain spectators, bound by the very fears you've overcome? In a world driven by fear, manipulation, and insecurity, your presence is a stark reminder of what it means to live in harmony with your true self. You don't conform to the rules of pretense or the expectations of others, and that alone makes you a force to be reckoned with. They fear you not because of what you take from them, but because of what you represent. The courage to walk in truth, the strength to remain unshaken, and the spiritual connection that grounds your every step. Your energy is like a mirror, reflecting their illusions back at them and exposing the cracks in their carefully constructed facades. You don't need to call out their weaknesses or point fingers. Your very existence reveals what they would rather keep hidden. The confidence you carry, the authenticity you embody, and the fearless actions you take all serve as silent challenges to the insecurities they work so hard to mask. But here's the paradox. You're not doing any of this to intimidate, compete, or outshine anyone. You're simply being who you are, genuine, unapologetically authentic, and fully aligned with your purpose. In a world where so many wear masks to fit in, your decision to live without one is revolutionary. And that terrifies them. Why? Because it forces them to confront the parts of themselves they've ignored, suppressed, or buried under layers of fear. Your presence awakens something in them, a realization of their untapped potential, the dreams they've abandoned, and the power they could wield if only they had the courage to step into it. It's a reminder that they've been playing small, living within the boundaries of comfort and avoiding the risks that lead to true growth. Have you ever noticed how deeply uncomfortable people become when faced with someone who embodies everything they've held themselves back from? Could their fear of you really be a fear of their own greatness? The Bible is full of examples of individuals whose authenticity and fearlessness disrupted the status quo. Jesus himself, in living out his divine purpose, challenged the religious leaders of his time simply by being who he was. His presence exposed their hypocrisy and made them uncomfortable with their own shortcomings. As he said in John 8:32, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Like him, your truth has the power to unsettle those who live in denial of their own. Despite the resistance and discomfort you may encounter, your mission remains clear. You are not here to shrink or dim your light for anyone. Every fearless move you make, every boundary you break, and every authentic step you take is a reminder of what's possible for those willing to embrace their true selves. Your life is a testimony to the extraordinary potential that lies on the other side of fear. And that's precisely why they fear you. Not because you overpower them, but because you refuse to be anything less than who you were meant to be. Your courage highlights their hesitation, your strength reveals their fragility, and your authenticity exposes the masks they wear. You are a living example of freedom, a freedom they crave but are too afraid to claim. So keep moving forward. Keep shining your light boldly, even when they try to cast shadows over it. Keep taking the fearless steps that challenge their view of what's possible. Because the truth is, the very things that unsettle them about you are the things they need to confront within themselves. And in the end, the only thing more intimidating than your authenticity is the realization that they too have the power to live authentically, but only if they choose to face their fears. As we wrap up this powerful message, let this truth sink deep into your heart. You are a child of God, hand-picked and set apart for His divine purpose. The fear tactics and intimidation you face are nothing more than a reflection of how much your light disrupts the plans of darkness. When the enemy tries to scare you, it is because they see the undeniable power and favor of God resting upon you. Take comfort in knowing that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, Isaiah 54:17. And every scheme of fear is powerless when you stand firm in the promises of God. Your courage and resilience are a testimony to others. You are living proof of God's faithfulness, and your journey inspires those around you to trust in Him more deeply. So, when fear comes knocking, remind yourself of this. The same God who led David to victory over Goliath is with you today. The battles may feel overwhelming at times, but do not forget, the God you serve is greater than anything or anyone that stands against you. If this message resonated with you and blessed your spirit, we invite you to support our work by donating through Super Thanks. Every contribution helps us continue sharing God's truth and spreading His light to those who need it most. And even if you are unable to give, we want you to know how much we appreciate your presence and your encouragement. Your time, prayers, and support mean more than words can express. We would also love your help in reaching others with this message. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with friends or family members who need encouragement in their walk with God. If this message spoke to you personally, let us know in the comments. We love hearing your testimonies and how God is moving in your life. As you go about your day, carry this blessing with you. May God's strength uplift you, His peace fill your heart, and His guidance lead your every step. Remember, you are chosen, you are equipped, and you are destined for victory in Christ. Stand tall, knowing that nothing can stop the plans God has for you. You are more than a conqueror through Him who loves you. Be blessed, stay strong in your faith, and we can't wait to connect with you in the next video. Until then, may God's light continue to shine upon you and through you. See you soon.